the preacher, aka Preach, also known as Khalil Malik Allen. To my left is our co-host / co-creator, my brother Sam. And to our right is our very special guest, Kashawn, my brother, our brother, also known as KTB, G18 president. He is going to be here with us to talk about our topics this afternoon. Today, as always, some topics will trigger sensitive points, sensitive standards. So if you are victims, forgive me, or you survivors of any type of sexual assault, abuse, domestic violence, gun violence, if you've lost any loved ones about such, of gun violence, street violence, any of those areas of concern, our show today will cover some of those areas. So we just want to warn you first, as we always will, to either brace yourself, watch until you can't, or tune out, if it is a triggering topic for you. So we're going to get right into it.
All right. We're going to talk about Amber Geiger, the Amber Geiger case. She got 10 years for shooting the wrong person in the wrong apartment building.
Now, he was the wrong person?
He was the wrong person, bro. The wrong person.
I thought she was aiming for him.
Nah. No, she was aiming for him, but she thought she went to the wrong apartment. Come on. TK just got how many years?
Like 55.
Who was that?
55.
Oh, Tekashi?
For killing a white? No, TK.
TK.
The rapper?
You're younger.
Dang it. Bitch, I beat the case.
Look.
Or beat the race or some shit? Yeah.
I don't mess with little pump, little nipple,
Little
little Uzi Vert. Shout out to little Uzi Vert. You just got little in front of your name. Shout out. Much respect for how you paid for that kid's tuition. We need more like it. That's what it's for.
Man, just think about it.
I don't mess with none of them little trap rappers because let me tell you something. Trap is too much. Trap is doing the most. You don't even have to have good material. You don't even have to say nothing. If the beat is hard, then you're now going platinum. If they compare trap to education, you wouldn't just take no teacher because their resume look good. If they actually got in the classroom and sucked, they get fired. But rappers can come in there and tie your lace. I see your face. And then as long as you put a nice beat behind that, next thing you know, they going all around the world making millions of dollars. When a teacher is scrapping to get her resume in to educate children, when a teacher is scraping by to make $35,000 to feed her family, make a good living for themselves, but a dude can go on a beat and make six figures and don't even got to be good. Like what is wrong with us? So no, I don't know nothing about no man named TK. No disrespect to his journey, to his path. None of that. He made it. God bless him. But
he didn't make it, bro. He in jail right now.
Did he make six figures before he went to jail?
Hell no, he ain't touched it. He ain't touched nothing.
Not a dog.
He
has not seen outside. It is
bro, he's 16. He's 18 now. He like 18 now.
What did he do?
He got in jail at 16 for being in a robbery where a man ended up dying. And he didn't kill the man though.
But he was robbing.
He was there.
He was robbing him, right?
Yeah. But
this is my perspective on it. No, he didn't kill him, and it is messed up. But if there's no smoke, there's no fire. Shouldn't have been putting yourself in a position to rob nobody anyway. Get up, get a job. If you can't find a job, keep looking. That's what's wrong with us now. We find all type of cushion and reasons of why it's so hard that you got to understand where they come from. Now, you can understand where you come from and still not go out and rob nobody. Because what they got, most likely they earned it. They went to work. They got that. Look, some of this, especially in the black community, we just lazy in a lot of areas. Some of us is just that daggone lazy. Some of us know good dang well we should be.
But they've made black people that like the government is trying to make black people that lazy by giving them all these by making them subject to all these different welfare.
Look, it's hard.
Nigga,
I ain't saying it ain't hard, and I'm definitely not saying we're not targeted.
Welfare programs and shit.
But let me tell you something. Reason they thrive is because we say yes. And don't get me wrong, there are some African American mothers, there are some black mothers, there are some white mothers, there are some Indian, there are some brown mothers out there who need it. The problem we have is not the ones who need it. If the people who just needed it took it, wouldn't even be as big as it is. But you got people who are lazy.
But you give them that cushion for so long, bro. What you expect? They don't get used to it. They don't get comfortable. They never gonna come back up.
But I feel you. But this is about This is about mindset. 50% of the battle is just telling yourself, I can do better. 50% of the battle is not letting your circumstance determine your overall goal. We've all been there. Everybody at this table, we've watched our mothers scrape dollar for dollar just to make sure that we had what we needed. We've seen our parents broke. We've seen our parents struggle. We've seen some real rough cases. If we throw out all of our stuff, hey, all of us could talk. We've almost seen. We've seen poverty almost. Which one of us came up on welfare?
Came up with food stamps and shit.
Okay, but which one of our mamas sat there, weekly visits to confirm a check? Which one of our mamas, as bad as all of our mamas have had it, which of our mamas said, you know what, I'm not gonna go get a job. I'm not gonna go put my application in.
I see what you mean.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not belittling not a single individual on welfare. Like I said, it is made, I'm big on this word stasis. Shout out public speaking again, but that stuff has changed my life a little bit. Get to the core of what's going on and cloud out the noise. In all that noise, welfare, laziness, they needed those systematic. What is it really for? Okay, no, it's there to help people who really can't get a break, and they need that to survive. They need that to feed their children. They need that to make sure their bellies are full. But I'm saying, in that comfort of your needs being met, are you moving or are you settling? You got help. No one is incompetent of getting better.
That's true. I give you that.
I'm not talking about it won't take you longer. I'm not saying it won't take you 10 years.
But us as a society, bro, we don't want to directly help them. We don't want to directly help people in poverty. You give them a little bit of money so they can just keep scraping by, kind of. Nobody that's on welfare, on food stamps, none of that. Nobody's making enough off of any of those to just live perfect.
You're right.
They still living in the hood. They still
right.
dealing with that shit.
Right.
So it's just like us as a society, we gotta look at it like how instead of just throwing them some money to scrape by, why don't we do something to make them sustain and be able to progress and move forward with it and not just stay in the same place.
If I gave you gas money because you need gas today, that gas is the little gas I gave you so you can get where you need to go.
Use that wisely though.
I'm about to say, will you come back tomorrow asking for the same amount of gas money and expect me to be willing to give it to you? Yeah. The stakes of it is real, but people of faith, unity, the reality of this situation is the reason it's so powerful is because one, we give it so much power, and that's real. We give it so much power. The enemy is as powerful as you allow him to be. He can destroy your entire life if you give him the power to. Same thing with people. Same thing with racism. They're spirits. You give them power, they enhance the power.
How you feel about people if you see a cop, you gotta pull his gun and he's getting ready to shoot. Do you feel like you if that's your loved one, like your girl or something, do you feel like you could sit there and just record it, or do you feel like you would take action?
No. Forget. That's another thing. It's one thing to film it and show it, and it's helped a lot of cases. But it's also been filmed and not helped a lot of cases, and you got a dead body on the ground. One, I pray my girl was never in that situation because my girl don't put herself in.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying this is.
And one, I believe it takes a lot. It takes something to trigger that, and if it doesn't take that trigger, then you be still. And unfortunately, one day that might be the case. They might still fire. But in that case, what do you want them to see? Seriously, see, this is about life.
You talking about society,
no,
everybody
just
else,
the man pulling the trigger. What do you want them to see them killing? Think about deer. Deer are, in this sense, they are innocent. They get shot down for the beauty of the creature that they are. Most times I hear deer hunters, they always kill them in noble positions, drinking water and embracing the great nature that God has created.
By killing it. Bro.
And dying. But when have you ever heard a hunter say, but I killed a terrible deer. He just was destructive. He was all over the place. I killed a noble creature who was at peace when I killed him. Literally just died in harmony. And I'm not saying that justifies the killing, but I'm saying the reason I think some of these killings are so constant is because they think they're just killing a waste of space. They don't see what they're
The
killing.
value.
They don't see the value. And then we respond with violence. We respond with trying to tear down their people instead of just holding their people accountable for the wrong that they do. We have to show the value in which we live it. 30 years of living a valuable life is way more significant than 80 years of just being there. Living is not the same as existing. Black Lives Matter leaders died a terrible death, but they lived a phenomenal life.
That's true. They're gonna die here.
And you will not remember the death more than you remember the movement.
That's true. That's true.
Somewhere down the line, kids are gonna be like, "Hey, that Black Lives Matter movement, that was some stuff. That stuff got popping." Whoever the
Okay,
creators were
Is it like still going?
always.
Really?
Every day you put on your clothes and walk out that
And walk
door, the
out.
Black Lives Matter
what I mean.
movement is in. Take no shade to the All Lives Matter movement.
Nah,
They do. Shoot, I'm with it.
bro, that was just a contradiction though.
But
man.
The motive of who created it, yes.
That's some bullshit.
But I'm just one of the people that through the noise, what matters?
Yeah, our lives do matter.
No, and not even that. Like, okay, cool. You made something for terribleness, but it brings about a great individual.
I forget who I was watching. They just said like it was like the instance, like it's like why are y'all trying to take the focus away from the Black Lives Matter movement? You could all lives matter, but you see right now what lives are at stake right now.
Absolutely.
So why don't you, instead of putting your energy and time into like something that you know that is bullshit, like we all know is all lives matter. We trying to get you to know that Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a focus point of, you know we matter, we know you matter, but when it comes to us, you treat us as if we don't. It's not the purpose, it's the treatment and trial. Trevor Noah said this, and it was great. It's the lack of trial. It feels as if they've never tried to just appreciate us as human beings. It feels as if there's been no efforts to see our point of view. It's a lot of words going around. It's a whole lot of words going around. But you got hundreds of generations that feel this hatred. They got to die out. But change is going. We grow up, the way we are growing up, the way we are incorporated with the white community and the diverse community, the Hispanic community, this generation of people, we are more united than the forefront.
It's really
but
old.
we have a lot of old hatred tradition that hasn't completely wore out yet. But you ask, how do we get there? You got to keep moving.
It ain't gonna really die out like that, man. It's gonna always like that hatred is gonna always be there because you're gonna teach that because the people that are dying, they already taught that to somebody else. Because
But how hard is it to teach something that's already been taught? Not that hard, right? So it ain't. It's easy. So it's like a quick bow.
You just gotta teach them
How
something
much
that hasn't
harder
been.
is it to teach something that hasn't been? 10 times harder,
Yeah.
right? But what happens when you learn something new? You get hooked to it. We find we get here, right? We be like, this is what we need, but man, we ain't never gonna get to it. And when you get there, it's like you've killed the plan before you've even tried to execute it. So that's why I argue down. No, hatred will not always be here. I don't believe that. It'll be here as long as people keep bringing it up. It'll be here as long as people in the room always give hatred power. But you can change a child's mind if you do it right. Because I'm gonna tell you this, love is better than hate, always. Even people who hate sometimes, most of the time, don't understand why they hate. It's what they know. National Boyfriend Day was yesterday.
Oh, you got this.
For real, my baby shouted me out. I love you. But relationships
Oh, all right, good.
has become a real big thing. I got this thing about like kiddie relationships. Man, don't get me wrong. Naturally, like I saw this post of one of my old bros. You know, he dates a girl now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm gonna keep names out of it because she definitely does not know what I'm talking about. I don't know disrespect, but I'm like, man, they get to enjoy simple things on a level. But you know how kids post now. You know what I'm saying? They post like they grown, like this queen, this wifey.
And really, bro, that's gonna be.
And don't get me wrong, I hate when we say like in high school. I used to hate when we would say like it ain't gonna last. My advisor told me that, and I was just like,
Man, it's high school. Man.
if I listen to you, if I listen to how you depict what mine is, I would never go far.
It's true. It's how you envision.
It's how you ought to teach it.
It's just hard. Don't think about it like that. At that age, bro, don't even think about it like, yeah, it's my wifey, this is my. Yeah. Like we gonna be together forever.
But you see,
that's too much.
But see, I'm different. The reason temporary is so big. But see, we say that, and then we get to college, then we get pissed when games start getting played. What do you think the nature of temporary breeds? That ox court, that's temporary. So what expectations do you think I have for the next one coming? That car, that's long term. So when I drive, John, I expect that thing to last me long.
I think when you hit that college, man, you just start realizing the more and more you get into college and you see like real life bullshit. It's not college is high school, but just bigger on a bigger scale. You just got more freedom. It's like one of rich high school.
But here's the thing, it's kind of different.
It's meant for you to learn more. So you learn the games, and that's what might mold your mind into what you actually want. That's why I say don't just do it straight from high school. Because of course you with a girl that you actually like. I ain't gonna say because I wasn't with no girl that I actually like was with a long time in high school. So I can't really like talk with that perspective. But I know putting that all on your plate, including anything else you might have already from sports to homework to just however your home life is, you gonna burn out on some way, and that's not gonna help your relationship. That's not, bro. You gonna burn out. That's not gonna really help you.
First girl ever fell in love with, Serena Miami Gates. I'll never forget it. Never forget that first exposure. First female friend I ever had. So when it came down to
like love, like you actually felt genuine, like you fell in love, man. Cause
do you know me?
Yeah, all right. So you
all right. Do you know?
I didn't experience mine until college.
Now look, this is the thing. I was in love with her.
But
she wasn't in love with me.
I feel you.
She was my best friend at the time, but and I had to break it down like, one, we were two different individuals. God has always been my center point. Like, I am not perfect. I've had my flaws. When people knew me, they knew that. That's
ratchet. Trying to get her.
No, she wasn't ratchet. She wasn't good. She's very smart, very bright. She turns up. You know, she was very gorgeous. She turns up, so she was, that whole depiction of turned up, you know how that mindset is.
Yeah.
Let's turn up, that's lame as what's name. And who I was lame. In the spectrum of who I was in, I was lame. That is why 90% of the people I associated with in high school, I don't have no association with them. Shout out my brother Green Bean, been with me since day one at Perry. Real talk. Cincinnati U, full ride, work hard. Shout out my brother Christopher Salazar, best friend in the making, Vegas, worked hard. But we were lame individuals in the spectrum what we were, because our mindsets were different. But we were raised from people who understood, one, the struggle, understood what that was, and had significant others that went from high school to now. Like, we built a family. So I didn't understand temporary. And here I was in front of a girl who just like, we can talk, we friends, nothing more, dating, you in love with me, you don't even know me. And what she didn't understand is what it's like, to know you is, see now, we gonna get into this. Like, if this the last topic we talk about, like,
because I'm about to definitely
yeah, so it's like, we get to 7 months of being friends. I'll break the whole thing down. We get to 7 months. Never forget the first day I saw her, like literally, blue, fluffy top. You know them little wavy jogger pants that girls wear with the squingy cuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sandals, toes, nail done, bun, light skin, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
bro, you got them lights
run the world!
Get you,
But my baby chocolate, queen chocolate, that's it!
Hey, low-key go for the chocolate.
Yeah,
Light brights, bro.
But anyway, I look at her and I literally see her, Earth Science, never forget it, Mr. Garrity. I got this thing where I didn't want to talk. I haven't picked up my whole life. I'm gonna be quiet, but I look back and I'm like, whoa.
You talk a lot.
Who was that?
You change.
Picked on. No, literally picked on. So I like for first 6 weeks of school, I just didn't say nothing and one. And like this is the first day though, so like, I'm like whoa. But I'll probably never know you. Gorgeous, out of my league. The way she came in, you know what I'm saying? Every kid that smoked weed or anything, they had a walk. So you know what I'm saying? She had that kind of walk. I'm like, are you probably turned up? But I don't. So naturally, you probably wouldn't want to talk to me no way. I'm not that area. And all my people who have been in the area dock me off because I'm just not. So, you know, kind of killed myself early. Get to lunch. I was always in lunch early. I went to every class on time, went to study hall, did all my homework, went to sleep. That was the life I had chosen to live at the time period. Got introduced to one buddy, turned into the most popular table in school, like all the big heads, football stars, rapping stars, like they all were close and happened to be invited to the table, but I was lunch early. Got to know him a little bit. One day I see this same girl sit across the lunchroom, and dude's at Port Water down his shirt, her shirt. She storms out. I'm like, oh, I know her, she in my class, that's a girl, okay, cool. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, the next day I get to lunch early. Nobody at my table comes, so I eat. I'm ready to lunch. Turn my head, old girl sitting right here. Hey. I'm like, nigga, hey, what is... Hey, I'm like, bruh, where did you come? I mean, bro, blinked, and she was just... So I'm done. I'm like, you looking for somebody else. You probably trying to wait like this bell like I'm doing something. Bro, I turn around, I'm like, all right, cool. What you doing? Nigga, my tray ain't gone. I was eating. It's not, and I didn't get it. See, I was not used to temporary love, but I was definitely used to temporary acceptance. I chased it my whole life. Just now got out of the where like you don't have to accept me. Just got out of it. So I'm really confused. So I dashing. I'm like, all right, Lord, gotta get me out of here. This is weird. This is the girl I said I'd never talk to.
You left?
Bro, I took off by that nigga. Gone like a mother. I don't care how gorgeous you are, bro. That fear was something decent. I was out of there.
Oh my God, bro.
And so was she, bro. I took off. So aren't you gonna walk me to my locker? So now I'm like, bro. Now literally, dumb nigga just hit. I'm like, okay, now I'm slow because this is scary. Like, there's another dude that you could talk to. And this is the first time, bro. I'm like. You are every bit of something I would want to talk to, would want in my atmosphere, and I'm like,
I got a question. This is like the first girl that has came up to you, like, with like interest on you,
ever. And I don't know if she's gonna see this. I don't know if she's gonna know this, bro. First girl that ever genuinely come to me and say, "What's poppin'?" Not on no hot stuff. Friend, period. But it was the first girl to literally see me. Through the periods of time, and say, you know what? I've tried all of this. What's poppin'?
The girl in my high school, I didn't love her, but I liked her. She made me feel like I was accepted. I feel y'all was the same way in high school. She made me feel like I got accepted. Like she just made me feel good but I knew she was a thought though at the same time. So I can't I knew. So I was like, I ain't
like, dang, bro.
Like
that to that.
You just start learning shit. Like, you know, maybe, I know you went to, what type of school you go to?
Hey, Meridian!
Was it a prep, you said prep school?
Oh, private Christian school, bro.
That's different, bro. You
way different, bro.
Are you from Rhapsody? Did she come over?
This was this year, yeah.
You got to listen to it. But, yeah.
Is that her freaking name?
Rhapsody? Yeah.
So her name is Rhapsody.
Yeah.
So the album name is Eve.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna.
I thought that was her name. You know, I was like Eve. I'm like, that ain't Eve. You don't know nothing like Eve.
Hey,
so her name is Rhapsody.
Hey, how you feel? Top female rapper right now, Rhapsody. I'll call him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Rhapsody.
Ain't nobody touching her.
Ain't nobody.
And she's not big right now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No, she underground, but bro,
nobody touching her.
Ain't nobody touching that. But back to what you were saying. So. Walk into a locker. Oh, I can still, and this is the thing, like I will always have love for those that I've loved, but I will not always have tolerance. My queen will always trump those before her. Because my queen's going nowhere. I literally have that conversation with my family. My baby Kayla is literally the victory I've always wanted, but couldn't didn't deserve at the time. And I still like, to this day, I look at them like, whoa.
Damn, I really got it.
But what she doesn't understand is I have so much love for her now because of who Serena was. And every girl before Kayla, and you can attest, you were around for most of them, had the love before Kayla, but in the levels of Serena. First, last shall be first, and first shall be last. People suppress scripture like it's so basic, but if you look at your life, the first one is the last one I'll probably ever encounter in my day, but the last one is the first one I wake up to every morning. So we get to walking into a locker, and bro, all of this is in my head, bro. Like I'm like, you the first one. The first one to ever do this. And I'm talking about, bro, every day. Hey, couldn't get my name right. I'll never forget it. She said, I'm just going to call you Kalu. I'm a hopeless romantic. What she doesn't understand is I lost a sister. So
That love,
that bond, I hadn't felt it yet, ever. In fact, I saw it stripped from my mother. So now it's like, you the first one, and you already bringing uniqueness. And I haven't been able to be me. I have suppressed who I was because of everybody else suppressing who I was. And I remember what that was like, because I remember him saying, you will be tormented for righteousness. You will be castrated. You will be outcasted for the sake of righteousness. So my whole life, picked on. You the first one. You coming out the bounds. You gonna mess with the church, nigga? And that's in my head. I'm like, what is this? So then we get 7 months down the line.
Damn,
7 months. I mean, bro, I'm talking about every day, same routine. Walk into my locker, talk to me, all of this. Talk to me, show me all this attention. Talk to me about our relationship. I'll never forget the boyfriend at the time, Storm. I'm like, bro, like that stuff's locked in my head. Like I can't forget it. I remember every day in class, she was sitting right behind me, and all I could do was think about going over there. I remember when I did talk in class, couldn't help but say something. I'll never forget getting into the library, and I remember coming to my advisor office. Give me till like 6:13, about 5 moments. Something. And I remember getting to my advisor, I'm like, tell him I'm in love with this girl. And I remember him saying, you got puppy love. I'm like, no. No, it's real love.
He was right though.
No, and for real, like, to this day, I'll never let anybody deem that puppy
Oh,
love.
you feel that? Oh,
That was real. Like, I don't bowl. I'm in your office asking you how I can execute telling her. For the simple fact is, I just want her to know. I wanted nothing out of that. They swerved me down, I wanted her. And I did. But not from me telling you that I'm in love with you. I just want you to know. So when you call me and you need something, you know that I ain't just moving because you need it. I'm moving because I love you. When you need somebody to talk to, I ain't just listening because you need a listener. Because I love you. When you need homework, it was.
I need you to tell me how this ended.
Yeah.
That's all I need you to tell me.
Yeah. So
that's where we see the real.
So get to telling her, and she was shocked. I mean, I was close with the art teachers, math teachers, English teachers. Lunch lady signed my yearbook, knew my principal, knew his secretaries, knew his schedule, knew my secretary, knew the CAPS office, the psychologist. I knew everyone in my school. I knew all the football coaches. I knew all the basketball coaches. I was at school from 7 to 7 almost every day from sophomore to junior year. Like I knew my school. Library staff loved me though. Like that, Miss Chef, shout her out. She had made me a word search that had her name in it, that I love you, got me a seat in the library. So we execute this thing, and by the time, didn't want to do a word search today. So basically just ended up having to tell her, and she just was shook. She was shook. Didn't really want to hear it, like was so like low-key offended. So I'm leaving. I'm like, well, I just wanted you to know. I just wanted you to know. I want nothing from it. I just wanted to let you know. So I leave. I'm about to dip. She's like, where you going? She's like, so you just gonna leave? Yeah.
So she told you about the dude she was dating?
And I knew about it. And that's what I'm saying. I knew she had a boyfriend. There was no disrespect to Stone. I'm just like, I just want you to know.
No, I'm saying, all right.
Right.
You might be friends though, bro. You friends.
No. Oh, definitely got you. But definitely friend zone, bro. But my thing was, I knew that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the goal was not to objectify you leaving him to love me back.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get
No.
So was it more just the I know the love you was able to express, and somebody actually kind of accepted it.
To be honest with you, I knew one mission. Let her know you're in love with her because of what she's been through. Don't stress getting her because you'll probably lose that battle anyway. Don't stress having her. You have her already. She's your best friend.
Yeah.
Take your blessings where it falls, but get it out. Tell her. Because at the time, I really just didn't, I didn't really know to do. Really could care less. When you are in love with somebody, you do not care about the other stuff. Because, like you said, temporary. But her response, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget not feeling heartbroken, but also not feeling like I succeeded. So I'm at the dip. I ain't got humble. My ego a little bit.